Hi everybody, this is Dorit from Build a Better You Yoga. Today's practice is a 15 to 20 minute practice just to help open up, loosen up people with tight hips. Many of us carry tension in our hip flexors, the inner part of your hips, and the outer part of your hips, which is of course all related to tension in the glutes. And so we're going to help loosen all of that up today with a nice, easy, gentle practice. Just FYI, we'll be spending a little time on all fours, so hands and knees. If you need a blanket to place underneath your knees, if they're sensitive, please go grab one now and have one handy. And the second part of our practice will be supine or on our back. So we're going to start right away on all fours, so coming onto hands and knees. And so I'm going to invite you to come to hands and knees with your knees hip width apart, so not too wide, your knees right underneath the hip bones. Walking your hands out as far as you can while still maintaining your hip alignment right above the knees. You can keep your toes whichever way you're more comfortable, so either curled into the floor or flat for the very beginning. What we're going to do is start with some nice gentle hip circles. So as you start to circle your hips towards the right, you can keep your hips as I'm demonstrating right above your knees. And if you feel that you want to get into it just a little bit more, you can allow the hips to fall towards the back of the room, towards your heels. Please don't worry about where your hips are reaching, whether they're touching your heels at all. That doesn't matter. It's not important. Just feel nice and juicy, like you're really getting in there and creating some space in those tight hips. And then switch directions after you've done 4 or 5. Go in the opposite direction. If you do wish to sit towards the back of the room, use your hands and press into both hands as you're coming towards the back of the room and really get in there. But the focus should be on your hips today. So really get into it. Perhaps instead of a circle, you want to make more of an oval and go right and left off the mat. See what feels good for you once again. And then let's stop on all fours. Good. We're going to curl the toes underneath us and keep the left toes curled underneath you. Send your right leg to the back of the mat. And all we're going to do to start with is relax the shoulders away from the ears, engage your core, and give your back leg a little pump here. So you're really working the glute in the right side. So you're squeezing the right bum cheek, engage your core, and do some little pumps here. Make sure that your knee and your toes are looking down, so your hip is square and down towards the floor. Okay, your right toes, your right knee are looking down. Give it another couple of pumps, really feeling like you're working that glute. And then keep the leg up here and bring your right knee towards your right elbow, to the outside of your right elbow. Breathe in, inhale. As you exhale, bring it all the way back, hip height. Toes and knees looking down, nicely aligned. As you inhale, bring the right knee open towards the right side of your mat, outside of your right elbow. As you exhale, bring it all the way back. Make sure your hip is aligned. Let's just do that 2 more times. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, pressing back. Heel is flexed. Feel your glutes engaged. And last time, opening and pressing your heel to the back of the room. Good. Bring your knee back down to the floor. Let's do a couple more hip circles, getting in there. Creating a little space, a little energy in the hips and the glutes. Do a couple in the opposite direction. Make this feel good in your body. Feel like you're playing a little bit. Being creative and feeling what feels good in your body. Where can I go with this? Always making sure you're not going to a place of pinching or pain. Okay, let's take the left leg to the back of the mat. As I said earlier, you don't want your toes to be pointing away from the center off the mat. You want your left knee and your left toes to be looking down, so your hips are square. Let's start with some gentle little pulses. Left leg going up and down, just a couple of inches. Shouldn't be a lot of movement. You want to have your core engaged. Press into both hands for stability. And you're just warming up that left glute here. Your right toes should be curled into the mat. You'll have more stability here if you curl the right toes into the mat. Just a couple more here. Good. And then let's stop, engage our glutes and engage your core. Lengthen your spine. Make sure at all times that you're not letting your head fall like this. Keep your neck and the crown of your head in line with the rest of your spine. As you inhale, the left knee comes out, bend it in and bring it up to the outside of your left elbow. As you exhale, bring it back centered. Remember, toes and knees look down. Let's do 3 more. As we inhale, bring it out. Opening, creating space in that left hip flexor. Exhaling, bringing it back. 2 more times. Inhaling. Pressing back, lengthening the back of the leg. Hip alignment. And opening 1 more time, bringing the knee to the outside of the left elbow. And exhaling, centered. Your knee and your toes look down with the left leg. Good. Bring it all the way back. Let's sit with the knees wide, so mat width apart. Separate the knees nice and wide. The toes might be coming in towards each other. They may touch or not. And let's make a fist out of our 2 hands and rest your forehead on your fists. Wide-legged child's pose. Now for a lot of people, your hips are not going all the way back towards your heels, and that is fine. A lot of people start out sitting all the way up. They can't go any further than that, and they'll even take a large pillow and just place it behind their upper thighs as I'm demonstrating here. And you could just have a pillow supporting you here and letting your forehead drop. Wherever you are, you have to meet your body where it is. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. Take a few breaths here wherever you are. If you need, again, a pillow, you can always press pause, go get a pillow. Let your hips rest towards the back of the room without feeling pinching or pain. And see if you can just let your body settle in. Take a moment here. This is a nice passive stretch, opening the inner parts of your hip. Allowing the backs of the hips to just melt towards the back of the room. We never push to a place of pinching or pain. You just kind of allow your body to settle and see where it is it wishes to settle. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale fully and see if you can feel yourself breathing into your back. And as you exhale, feel your body getting a little bit heavier, like you're sinking into the mat. Relax your shoulders, breathe fully into your upper back here. As you exhale, again, soften and settle. Last breath. Good. Let's slowly make our way back onto all fours. Come to a seated position and just slowly come onto your back, please. We'll start by just hugging our knees in close to our chest. Hugging it in. If by chance you can't wrap your arms around the outsides of your legs or your knees, just bring your arms underneath your lower leg and just grab behind your upper thigh or your quads and bring your knees in towards your chest. And you want to bring your legs in as close as possible. Again, no pinching, no pain. You're looking to feel your spine nicely aligned, your lower back pressing into the floor. And each time you invite your legs to come a little closer to you, you might be feeling a nice stretch in your outer hip, glutes. And from here, bring your arms in between the knees and grab onto the ankles or the shin or the knee. And you're just trying to open each knee to its own side. So this is butterfly pose. Creating a little space for the inner hips, hip flexors. Try and relax your shoulders where you are and relax your facial muscles. And just breathe here. Remembering that if we can't grab a hold of our ankles, there's no big deal. Grab a hold of your shins. Grab a hold of your knees and just apply a very gentle pressure so that the inner thighs open, inner hips open. Taking just another few breaths here. An opportunity to breathe into your belly here. Front body is all ready to receive this energy that's coming in. So breathe into the belly. And as you exhale, exhale fully and completely. Feel the navel pressing in towards the spine. Take 2 more full breaths just like that. See if you can breathe all the way into the belly, filling up the rib cage. Perhaps even the upper chest where the collarbones are. Exhale fully and completely till there's not an ounce of air left. So emptying, emptying, emptying. Navel to spine. Bringing your knees back in towards each other and placing them down on the floor. Let your arms come away from you, about 45 degrees. Bring your feet to the floor. Knees are bent, and have the feet and the knees be hip width apart. As you inhale, let your knees keep pointing towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, drop both knees towards the left. You can gaze towards the right. This is an option, but you can also keep your gaze towards the ceiling if it's more comfortable. As you inhale, bring your knees back into center. Remember your full breath here. And as you exhale, drop the knees towards the right. This is a nice gentle windshield wiper. The gaze can go to the opposite side. And then you can come to do this at the pace of your breath. Inhaling center and exhaling. Option to look to the other side. Inhaling back into center. As your knees point towards the right, your gaze could look towards the left. The key here is to keep your upper back flat on the floor. Let's do one more to each side. Both shoulder blades flat on the floor, so that this twist is just happening from the lower body. Feeling a nice sensation of a twist and a stretch in the hip, perhaps your glute, and coming all the way back in. Good. Take your right leg and please cross it over the left knee and flex the foot. Take a moment and take your left foot off the floor. This is called Pigeon Pose, and I'm inviting you to hold behind the left upper thigh. Wherever you can grab, so you can grab a little higher towards the knee if that's comfortable, if that's too much of a stretch. Hold your quad behind the upper thigh, a little bit lower. And check in for a moment. Look at your left knee and check in if it's above your left hip. You want to make sure when we're very tight in the hips, your knee might be right above your groin, and that's avoiding the opening. The body's very smart, so it's compensating. So very slowly invite your left knee to move above your left hip. Feel the stretch and the difference that that makes in the right hip, the right glute, and keep both feet flexed, so pushing your heels away from you. Take a couple of breaths here. The next few times as you exhale, see if that left leg, that left upper thigh, wants to come in a little closer towards your chest. If it answers no, please listen and honor how your body's feeling in this moment. Just work with relaxed shoulders, relaxed upper body here, just enjoying the stretch on the right hip as you invite your left leg to come in a little closer to you. Bringing the left foot back down, uncross the legs. Take your left foot and cross it over the right knee. We're starting with a big number 4 here. So just push your left knee away from you for a minute and just see how that feels. Already a bit of an opening in that hip flexor. When you're ready, take the right foot up and off the floor. And again, you're going to hold that right upper thigh anywhere that's comfortable. You're reaching behind your quad and holding either close to the knee or a little bit lower. Take a quick little peek and make sure that your right knee is right above your right hip. Those of you that are very tight and your knee is sort of above your groin and you can't really bring it over, listen to your body. We're going to create space with time. You do this enough times, your body is going to just let go slowly. We don't create space in one practice. Take a couple of moments here. Make sure that your spine feels equally, so you're aligned, that you're creating equal weight distribution on the left and the right hip. Make sure your whole body is not tipped over towards the left here. Keep both feet flexed. Invite your right upper thigh to come a little closer to you. Notice what that does to that left hip, glute, big stretch here. Stretching the outer thigh. Just take one more breath here. And then slowly bring your foot back down. Good. So let's come one more time into a butterfly pose, reaching between the knees, grab onto ankle or shin, or just above your knees, and let the knees open up now. We were just creating space in the glute, the outer part of the hip, just coming back for a nice external rotation here, creating space in the hips, inner hip flexors. Once again, breathing into the front body, letting the back body settle. Take another full breath, feel the energy in the front body. Exhale, feel settled, supported, grounded as you exhale. Bring the feet back down to the floor, and this time, let your feet touch and let the knees touch. Bring your arms out into a T here, about 90 degrees. If that's not comfortable because you have shoulder issues, bring it down a little closer to the body. Always making sure to listen to your body first. So the feet and the knees are touching. Bring your feet as close to your glutes as you can. Take a big inhale with your knees pointed up towards the ceiling. This time, drop the knees towards the left. Doesn't matter if they're touching the floor at all. Bring your gaze towards the right. And then take your right arm and reach it back so that your fingers are reaching actively towards the back of the room. Relax your left shoulder, left hand is relaxed on the floor. Knees are dropping towards the left side of your mat. And you're taking that stretch that's happening in the hip and bringing it all the way through the right rib cage, through the armpit, and all the way through to the fingertips. So separate your right fingers and reach. Big breath in. You should be breathing into the right side of your body here. Once again, we're not worried about whether our knees are touching the floor or where they are. There's no right place, as long as both your shoulder blades are flat on the floor. We're looking for this to be a lower body twist. You got to make sure both scapulas or shoulder blades are flat on the floor. Make any adjustments you need to make to be there. After your next full breath out, as you inhale, bring the knees back into the center. Bring your arm back next to you. Make sure the feet and the knees are touching. When you're ready, drop both knees over towards the right. Your gaze might look towards the left. Please make sure both shoulder blades are flat here on the floor. And if you're comfortable here and you don't need any more juiciness to this stretch, stay where you are. If you want to bring the upper body stretch into this, you'll take your left arm and reach back. And if you're reaching back, separate your fingers. Reach actively so you feel energy all the way through the fingertips. And you're letting your knees just relax towards the right side of the mat. Just making sure both shoulder blades are still flat on the floor. Lower body twist, perhaps getting into the hips, glutes, and taking it up through the rib cage if you're reaching all the way back, all the way to the tips of the fingers on the left side. Take another big breath here. Breathe into the left side of your body. And slowly come back in. Good. We're going to do one more that goes just a little bit deeper into the hip. I'm going to invite you to take your right knee and cross it over the left knee. Okay, now both knees are stacked on top of one another. And then with your legs crossed tightly, like that, bring your knees in close to your chest. And you may or may not be able to bring them in a lot. This may feel very tight on your hip flexors. You're going to get a bit more of a stretch on the right side of your body. So just tune in to how you're feeling. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. We can flex both feet here, get a little more activity in the backs of the legs. Every time we flex the feet, you're going to feel the backs of your legs engage. And just hug the legs in as close as you can with the right knee crossed over the left. This one gets a little bit deeper into it. If for any reason, again, you feel pinching or pain, please come out of the posture. Relax your whole upper body, and at the end of the next breath, bring the feet back down to the earth, uncross the legs. If it feels good, do a little windshield wiper side to side. Nice and gentle, kind of having fun with that one. And then you bring the feet back down, knees are bent, feet into the floor. Left knee crosses over the right knee. The knees are stacked upon one another. And when you're ready, bring both knees in towards your chest. And again, you should be feeling this a little more on the left side of your body. Where are you feeling it? The hip flexor, the outer hip, perhaps into your glutes. You're going to feel it a lot more the more your knees come in close to you, but listen to your body. We always look to create space on the exhale, so stop and listen, take a big breath in, see how you're feeling, and if you feel like you could create a bit more space on the exhale, invite your legs to come a little closer to you. Just a bit, move millimeter by millimeter. Take another inhale, see how you're feeling, check in. And if there's space there, as you exhale, bring it in just a little bit more. Always moving millimeter by millimeter so that at all points we're aware and we're staying with the sensation in our body, which also keeps us present. Okay. As we exhale, come back, uncross the legs, bring your arms out. We'll do a little windshield wiper together, knees to the left. You can bring your gaze to the right if you wish. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling over, knees to the right, gaze to the left. Again, upper body's flat, just one more to each side. Do this at your own pace. Always looking to feel good in your body. Last time. As you come back in, hug your knees in close to your chest. Rock side to side if it feels good. And then if you'd like, you could spend the next few moments, if this feels good, in a butterfly pose. So you can extend the legs and just let the knees open up each to their own side. The feet can be in towards each other, kind of in a diamond shape. You can let your legs go as far away from you as you would like. And if this creates any tension in your hip and that's not comfortable, just extend your legs out, kind of hip width apart, and let the feet just open up each to their own side again. So the right foot just gently opens towards the right, left foot opens towards the left, and let your body rest. If you can, stay for a few moments. Let your palms face up. Just tune into the sensations in your body. Tune into the sensations in your hip. Notice if they feel just a little bit more spacious,